On the morning of July 7th, a hot, sunny day, the gallows was finished and tested. 100 tickets had been issued to civilian observers, and most arrived early. Thousands more clustered outside the prison walls, hoping for a glimpse of the grim proceedings. They were frustrated. Soldiers patrolling the walls prevented any self-appointed witnesses from sneaking a look at the executions. Just before 2 p.m., the condemned persons were escorted from their cells to the prison yard. Mrs. Surrat came first, led by 2 priests and surrounded by 4 soldier guards. She remotely mounted the 13 steps to the gallows. She was followed by 3 male prisoners, each with his own array of guards. Paine, silent no more, thanked his guards, then said unexpectedly, "Mrs. Surrat is innocent. She doesn't deserve to die with the rest of us." Others had believed the same. President Andrew Johnson had been besieged with pleas to commute her sentence until the very last minute. So distinguished a person as Mrs. Stephen A. Douglas, widow of Mr. Lincoln's old political foe, was among the pleaders. But President Andrew Johnson remained adamant, and time was running out. The execution order was read to the 4 condemned, and their arms and legs were bound. White hoods were put over their heads and nooses fixed on their necks. Adjusting the noose around Paine's neck, executioner Christian Wrath, in an attempt to be merciful, told him, "I want you to die quick." Paine responded, "You know best." Mrs. Surrat cried out from under her white hood, "Don't let me fall." Herold was silent, but his whole body trembled, and Atzerodt called to the others, "Goodbye, gentlemen. May we all meet in the next world." On signal posts supporting the platform on which the 4 stood were knocked away. The platform swung down on its hinges, and the 4 fell swiftly until their nooses jerked them up. The necks of 3 were broken instantly, but Paine's neck muscles were strong enough to withstand the fall, and he was strangled to death by the noose. The dead persons were allowed to hang for half an hour, then were cut down, hoods still over their heads. They were buried in the graves dug beside the gallows. It was all over. Justice had been served. That's the murder weapon that killed Abraham Lincoln. A single shotgun. If the police officer was outside of Lincoln's booth, Lincoln would still be alive today. It's only one shot. One shot. So if John Frederick Parker had stayed posted up, Lincoln would still be alive. But the cops are shit. Cops can't even protect our president. And in fact, RFK, JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., and Fred Hampton, it was the cops that murdered them. So fascists and criminals, I mean, they're pretty much one and the same.